Is funneling a century of recorded audio history into a single server drive a cultural rescue mission, or the largest security failure of our era? Spotify holds the keys to a modern Library of Alexandria. It manages roughly 256 million tracks, but they exist within a proprietary ecosystem where the platform, not the public, controls the access. That control was recently tested by Anna's Archive. The group executed a massive data extraction, siphoning 300 terabytes of data that included 86 million music files and nearly every piece of metadata on the platform. This was an entirely external operation. Because the data was pulled from the outside, Spotify's security team was forced to treat these self-proclaimed archivists as active threat actors. It's a significant leap for a shadow library. Previously, Anna's Archive focused on low-bandwidth text documents. Moving into the massive petabyte-scale infrastructure of an audio streaming giant required a completely different set of specialized tools. Using automated scrapers to exploit API endpoints, hackers bypassed rate limits, quietly pulling data without triggering alarms. The payload divided into two distinct streams, one capturing raw audio files, the other mapping foundational metadata, including hidden stream counts. By treating the platform as a database to query rather than an app to use, the hackers completely stripped away the polished consumer interface to see exactly what is actually being stored on Spotify's massive internal servers. Beyond the technical breach, the 300 terabytes of extracted logs contain a revealing look at the platform's actual library composition. This data reveals over 70% of songs on Spotify have effectively zero audience, fewer than 1,000 lifetime listens. You won't see these numbers in the app. Spotify hides specific stream counts below this threshold, effectively obscuring this massive dead zone. The archivists point to the rise of AI-generated content and automated slop as the primary drivers of this volume, tracks created specifically to catch the tailwinds of the platform's algorithms. The leak highlights a library that is becoming increasingly dominated by silence. It suggests that while the catalog is growing, a vast majority of its new at the very top of the charts, where human attention is hyper-concentrated. The scraped data confirms the massive reach of the platform's biggest hits, like Lady Gaga, climbing to over 3 billion streams. Billie Eilish follows closely behind, with her track Birds of a Feather also surpassing the 3 billion stream mark. While these numbers are often cited in press releases, seeing them alongside the 70% dead zone illustrates the extreme imbalance of the streaming economy. Human attention is funneled toward an incredibly narrow peak of global superstars. It is only through this type of unauthorized access that we get a unified look at the entire catalog, allowing us to compare the world's biggest hits directly against the millions of tracks that the platform's interface keeps hidden. As Spotify's security teams work to identify and patch the vulnerabilities used in the heist, the archivists are continuing to release the 300 terabyte payload to the public. Anna's Archive frames this as a cultural necessity. They argue that if history is left entirely in the hands of corporate servers, it risks being deleted or drowned out by a rising tide of automated content. But the legal reality is different. Regardless of the archivist's intent, bypassing security layers to mass download copyrighted files is a major incident that the platform is legally bound to investigate. This creates a difficult friction between the public's interest in historical access and the legal protections required for corporate digital privacy. The Spotify breach serves as a reminder that when our cultural history is stored inside walled gardens, its preservation often falls into a legal gray area, where those who seek to save the data are often the ones breaking the rules to reach it.